Silicon Valley, technology, art, green, and sustainability.
Welcome to another episode of Silicon Valley Tech, Art, Green, and Sustainability, SVTAGS. Tonight, I'm very honored to have with me a gal that has a plethora of things you've done and places you've lived, I just found out. So, Esmee St James, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me on the show, Heather. I'm very honored to be here.
Yeah, so before we go into what you're doing now, let's talk about your background. Tell us where you're from.
Sure.
I just found out that I had no idea that you grew up where you grew up, so tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm a Dutch girl. I was born in Holland, lived there for about 10 years, and my mom was from Paris, so French was my first language.
Wow, that's amazing.
And so was style, I guess. I don't know. She was a very, very elegant woman. Then we moved to the US, and I spent many years in Canada, and well, voila, here I am.
What did your mom do?
She was a housewife. She studied photojournalism and interior design, and then she met my dad, and yeah.
Is she still here?
No, they both passed in 2015.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
What did they move here for?
Well,
and you were young then?
Yeah, I was not. They moved here initially when they met in the U.S. Believe it or not.
Okay.
Yeah. My mom was studying at SMU, and my dad was went to the U.S. Army, and then he was a photojournalist, and he wanted to meet some European girls. So he pretended he has to do a story on foreign students, and so he went to this sorority, and there was my mom, and they fell in love.
A sorority there in
Dallas,
Paris,
Texas, at Southern Methodist University.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
But then they moved back. They moved a lot.
How old were you when you moved here then?
I was 8.
You were 8.
Moved to New York.
Okay, so you really did, and of course in Europe, you have to learn several languages because you're on the border of so many different places, but they always teach English usually too.
Not when you're 8 years old.
Okay.
That starts more like in middle school.
Oh, okay.
So I spoke 4 words of English: yes, please, no, and thank you.
Wow. So people thought you were really polite.
Weird. What's your accent? No, but I was so eager to learn English. It was a piece of cake.
Wow.
Like it was super easy. By the time that was grade 4, by the time I was in grade 5 and 6, I won the spelling award 2 years in a row.
Wow.
Because it was like, oh, this is cool. I speak English now.
So now, before we start talking about what you're doing now, did you also go to college, or how did you get into what you're doing now? Were you doing something before?
It had absolutely nothing to do with college.
Okay.
Because I studied French. But no, I
have to introduce you to my aunt. She's French.
Oh, cool.
She loves to converse with people. So.
Well, I would love to converse with her.
There you go.
So yes, I went to college, but when I was in Canada, I modeled for 25 years.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, and during that time, and I did, magazine covers and some fashion stuff and catalog and commercials and a lot of print advertising. So, and then I also did some portrait photography along with that and some hair and makeup. So those are skills that I learned.
Well, and I knew, I didn't know you were a photographer until I saw something on Facebook, and I was like, hey, come on the show. So that was background that you had too. And where were you based in Canada?
In Toronto.
In Toronto,
yeah.
Okay. So it wasn't Quebec or?
No, but I did work there as a model, and I did some work in Florida and had an agency in San Francisco. So I got around.
And so I was thinking the French, so Quebec, right? So
yeah, that was helpful there.
It's dominant there, but they speak English too. So
not a lot of them speak English these days. They really push the French only thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd love to go someday. So
you would love it.
It's on the plan, right?
Don't go in the winter.
Okay.
Very cold.
I bet.
Yeah.
Like below 40s or 30s.
Oh, just beastly. Let's just say it's beastly.
So tell us what you're doing now. Tell us the name of your company.
I'd love to. My company is called the Dating Muse, and I'm a dating and style strategist for men. So what I do is I help single men find and keep their dream girl. So I work with men that they're mostly at the point where they realize they need some help. So they've been married before or had a long relationship, and they're, again, brand new to the dating scene, let's say, 10, 25 years or so since they were married. And
so most of them have been married before?
Married or in a long-term relationship.
Okay.
Yeah. Or they just have been working so hard and they never got the hang of dating. The other segment of guys I work with are the nice guys that have the nice guy syndrome. that, don't get the girl. So I work with them, and they really want to find their dream girl. They don't just want to go out and pick up women. So I don't teach pickup artistry at all. I teach how to kind of change yourself from the inside, take another look at yourself and figure out what didn't work before, because it takes two for every relationship to not work and to work, and how they want to be seen now and how to go forth and attract their dream girl from that point. And so that involves, some kind of coaching work where I talk them through things, through a bit of self-discovery, as well as sometimes they need a makeover. But sometimes that's not enough. I teach them body language.
So I'm going to pull up the first slide.
Okay.
I think we're going to pull up several in a row, and tell us about the slide.
Okay. Oh, this gentleman is a business coach. And
I think I may know him.
You
and
probably
he's quite
do.
handsome, actually.
He is.
And he looks so different in the two photos.
Completely. He needed a new shot for a business, and I said, let me do this for you. But first, let's clean you up a little. So I kind of gave him instructions, and he brought some clothes that we chose from there. And I mean, look how much more confident he looks there. And dressing like that really attracts more business.
So that's interesting.
Yeah.
And I had actually been thinking, and this is just because of the knowledge of Silicon Valley, it used to be like 5 guys to every woman in Silicon Valley. So I had been thinking before you said what you actually do, that you were working with the tech guys, maybe,
I do.
they're maybe awkward, or they're engineers, or they just don't get out in the dating world, or I was thinking maybe that would be your base, but it doesn't sound like
that is part of my base, and the guys that I work with here are like that. I also work with guys in other parts of the country that aren't in that industry, but here in particular, yes, you're quite right. There's a lot of guys that are a little socially awkward, and they just don't know how to dress.
Interesting.
So, yeah.
So take me, first off, how did you get into this business? How did you transition into this?
Well, when I moved here about 9 years ago, coming from Toronto, men are very stylish, and they're just really international, and they seem to be, a bit more adept at dating and social skills. But when I moved here, it's like, what? Just the flip-flops and the shorts and the hairy toes and just the awkward, don't know what to say to a girl or can't look her in the eye or whatever. It's like, okay, let's start with the wardrobe part. So I started with doing just makeovers for them, just to see how that would work. Because, of course, I've been in the fashion business for so long. And that worked for a while. The guys got more attention, but I realized that they needed to take it a step further because they still had the same discomfort and, don't know what to say to a girl. They got super nervous sometimes. So I decided to get into coaching, and to that end, I took a ton of training. Not coaching training, but I took training in body language and how to speak better. Get trained for quite a while with Roger Love, who's one of the world's leading vocal coaches. I did some stuff with Bo Eason, who is a movement and storytelling coach. I took some Alexander Tech training from a guy who teaches actors whose names I know everyone who's watching this will know. So people like that I've trained with just to improve my skills.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And so you just, when you moved here, you saw the need,
Yeah.
and then came up with the idea, which is amazing.
Yeah, because I quit everything I was doing.
And you said 8 years?
Yeah.
You've been doing this 8 years?
No, I haven't been doing 8 years.
Okay.
I kind of quit everything I was doing, sold everything I had in Canada, and just, took some time off to absorb everything here. And then I kind of got restless, like I need to do something, but I don't want to go back to what I was doing. But what do I know that I can use and help people with and have fun with?
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm going to pull up another slide.
Okay.
I'm behind on the slide, so we're going to pull up 2. What a difference, too.
Oh, this
Wow.
is a tech guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
He looks like the outfit looks like the jeans.
Oh my God.
The blue
Yes.
shirt. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And the hair unkempt and everything's baggy and the ripped jeans, like something a teenager might wear minus the jacket.
Well, he kind of looks like a hippie in
Yeah.
one, right? And
Yeah.
he looks very professional and handsome.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, he's hiding under that beard.
I know,
Right?
honestly, this was a single dad with grown children, couldn't get a girlfriend to stick. And I said, we've got to do something about your exterior first. And I mean, look how handsome he is there. Just the whole attitude changes.
Yeah. Okay, we could pull that down too. So how does the service work then?
Well, it depends on what a guy needs. Most guys, by the way, think they look okay. They don't think about their wardrobe so much. Go, oh, I'm fine. She won't. They don't think about what we women think about. So that angle wasn't as interesting to them as is the dating coaching. So, because who doesn't want love in their life?
Right.
No one really wants to be alone, no matter what they might say. They just kind of might say, oh, I'll never get married again. It's like, I beg to differ. If you met the right girl, if you could attract her. So there's different packages.
Once in love, could love again, right? Is
of course.
Whatever the sayings are. But
everybody wants to be loved and to love. It's just the way we humans are made. So I sit them down. I often will meet with them in person first and kind of analyze them and figure out, well, okay, in my opinion, this is what we need to work on. And then we often set up coaching sessions that are virtual. So, but they're audio video. So I record it and I send it to them, and we just, I go through it per client, but I analyze them and tell them exactly what they need to do, and I give them exercises to do on their own in between coaching sessions.
So the photography background really helps.
It does, because what I also do is I create for some of my clients online dating profiles, if that's what they want to explore.
Interesting.
So, yeah,
so
it's fun because I have the fashion photography
background.
And
then do you have employees, or do you, no?
No, it's just me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So no web developers, or, I'm just thinking out loud, or partners? Do you partner with maybe some of the dating sites, or?
I would like to partner with matchmakers, high-end matchmakers, and I'm looking for some high-end matchmakers to work with, because I've met guys who are paying thousands of dollars, like $5,000 a month or whatever the number might be. I'm not really sure, to get someone to get them dates. But then when they show up, they're still who they were before. Can't get a date, can't get a girl interested.
Or if they get the date, they can't get a second date.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, or the girl goes, oh, you know what, he's not for me. They still need polishing up. So a lot of my clients are CEOs and stuff. So
let's pull up, I think this is the third slide. Let's pull up the third one. I know where that is. That's the Capitol Club, isn't it? Outside.
Yes, it's outside. Yes, you know your stuff.
Yeah, it looks like the building.
Yeah.
So he looks like a young guy. Computer guy?
He's my youngest guy, and he was doing 3D design. Really, really intelligent young man, like very well versed, very spiritually oriented and stuff. And I mean, look at the way he dressed, and he just
and what a difference! He looks so handsome.
Yeah.
Over here, he just looks like a kid, right? And here he looks like a man, looks handsome.
We did a total makeover on him, and just very confident no matter what, but just didn't have a clue of what he should look like to go and get a job, to go and get a girlfriend. So now he's
we
like,
can pull that down. Sorry.
Yeah.
So you said you travel. How many cities do you go to? Do you have a limit to where you go? Do you travel overseas?
Well, I don't travel for my business at this point, because if I need to meet someone in another town, we do it virtual, or they can come to me. But of course, if someone wants me to, absolutely, they can fly me in.
And how many clients do you work with at a time, or do you have a limit?
I don't. Well, a limit. I probably wouldn't want to do more than, let's say, 8 at a time, because it is pretty intensive what we do. So, to that end, I'm developing an online course, because the programs are anywhere from 3 months to 6 months, and I kind of customize it, but it's a while and it's intense.
Let's pull up another slide. I'm behind on the slides, and I know this gal too.
Of course you do.
I was like, wow, okay, wait. So was the picture taken close after, or was she younger there? Or?
No, that's just a lot of bad retouching on the left-hand side.
Okay,
okay. I mean, in my opinion, anyways.
And her hair color looks so much better, I think. It highlights her eyes, and she's so pretty anyway.
She's beautiful.
Right?
She has a glowing smile. And for her, what we did was I just took her to a hairdresser. Well, normally I work with just men, but I knew her. It's like, you need some help. So, and she was willing. I took her to the hairdresser, did her complete makeovers, clothing and makeup and everything. I showed her how I did her makeup, and then I photographed her.
Right, and so I know her. When she joined the Capitol Club, I met her.
Yes.
And I didn't know her looking like the other side. Mm-hmm. So you did the makeup, to pull that down, you did the makeover a while ago then for her.
Yes, that was a couple of years ago. Yeah,
okay.
That one.
I think we have one more slide.
Okay.
Let's bring that one up. And I think this is the last one for the.
Oh yes, okay. That was a dating profile photo, and this photo.
The left one?
The left one was what he had on his dating profile, amongst others.
And what is that he's got in his hand? Is it a shark, or
it's
is
a
it
large fish? Okay, I mean, if I were looking online for a guy, go, ew, I don't need to know. I'm sorry, that's
because most women aren't into the fishing thing.
It's not sexy. I'm sorry, but
you smell like fish. You're probably
yeah. Our senses go crazy.
Right.
So this gentleman had no idea how handsome he was, and so I told him, I said, you know what? Let's put you in these clothes. Let's put a cup on.
And who would have thought to? I mean, it's kind of like a lumber guy shirt but short sleeve, so it shows off he has nice arms.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, it's funny because when I put this together, I noticed that it's almost the same pose as the other one with the arm. And I said, you need to hold a cup of coffee and flex your arm and look at me and smile. You know?
That's a good photojournalist or a photographer.
Yeah.
You're a great photographer.
Well, I'm good at directing people who haven't been models before because I know.
Because you know.
I've been on both sides.
Yeah. So I know somebody that needs you with help with her business then.
All right.
But you don't do the photography thing anymore. So how do you find clients then?
Online. They find me.
Okay.
Most guys won't say to each other, hey, dude, you know, you need some help with your dating. You're not having any luck here. You should call this girl. No. They find me online. They'll Google, dating coach.
And referrals
whatever.
probably too.
Yeah.
Not so much.
They'll look at the testimonials on my website. They'll follow me on Facebook, and they'll come to me quietly that way. Guys don't refer each other. A woman might say to a guy, you might say to a guy friend of yours, hey, why don't you call her? Here's her card.
I definitely know someone that needs your help.
Okay. I have had that kind of
friend.
referral.
No. Oh wait, I shouldn't say that.
Whoops.
I'm just gonna. And you have a book coming out.
I do.
Let's pull that slide up. And I already thought the book was out because it's a chick magnet.
Yes.
And so why did I think you had a book? Let's pull that down. I already thought you had a book out. This is coming out. Tell us about this.
Well, so it's Chick Magnet, Insider Tips from a Female Dating Coach. And it's kind of a how-to guide, sort of beginners, but it's basic, and each chapter gives instructions on exactly what to do. And there's 2 sections. The first section is just for men. It explains how women think. Things like, you may be nervous, but she's more afraid of you than you are of talking to her, because women, we're in a more vulnerable position being women. We just are. It's just the way that nature made us, right? We're not as physically strong as most guys, and they're hitting on us. So they need to understand how women think and why, and what it is that they do that can get their attention or turn them on or whatever, and what is it that you shouldn't do that will turn her off. And it goes all across like body
Hence,
language.
have a photo with a giant fish in your hand.
Things like that, yeah. So the second section is more for her, like it's written from her point of view. So and each chapter has little anecdotes. So I tell them of my experiences and my friends' experiences, and guys can relate to that because like, oh right, I did that once, And then the last 3 chapters are for others. Those are general things like manners, how to take a compliment, things like that. Just useful information.
So, is there a technology that you can't live without?
I'd have to say, because I do a lot of virtual coaching, I love Zoom.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. And yeah, you did say that you get your clients online, so the internet, right? If the internet wasn't around, then have you been to a lot of weddings? This was a question.
To weddings for people that I've hooked up. There are some in the makings. One just got engaged to a beautiful, beautiful, really intelligent woman. This is the CEO of a company that I worked with for a while. Another one, 2 weeks after we redid his dating profile, moved in, girlfriend moved in with him, so that's coming as well. So, a lot of people have gotten together.
Interesting.
Yeah.
The next 2 questions kind of go hand in hand. I usually ask this of all my guests.
Okay.
What challenges have you had and how have you overcome it? And it can be personal or it can be business related. And then it goes hand in hand with the next one, which is what is the biggest accolade or the biggest win you had?
One of my biggest challenges has been getting clients to understand that they need this service. And so finding a way to relay that to them without while still being positive, getting them encouraged and understanding that this will really help them. So that's been one way. Like, how do you word that? How do you put it? That I'm on your side. I want to help you get what you want. And so I'm working my way through that, and I think I've been doing really well.
So testimonials probably.
Testimonials, like, oh, that guy did it. Okay. Oh, telling stories about other guys and things.
And having
like
this
that,
before and after is awesome.
That really helps. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
And then the best accolades.
The best accolades.
So the best thing that's like business. I mean, it could be personal too. So what's the thing that's been your maybe your most proudest moment?
Okay. Gosh, proudest moments. There's a number of them, but it's like when I know that a guy feels like he's really shifted his inner talk, shifted his whole mindset towards feeling really good about themselves and knowing that they've got this, that they know what to say, they know what to do, and they know that it's not them, it's they're being who they really are. Like taking something that's inside them and showcasing it, things that they didn't think were worth anything. So making someone feel really confident and good about themselves and knowing that they can go out there and get any woman that they're interested in.
Anyone that their heart desires.
Yeah, it's in building that self-confidence, because some of the guys I work with are really good in business, but then when it comes to women, they're like terrified. So seeing that happen, and I've seen it happen.
So the next question is another one that I usually ask. It's a standard question. We could bring up the next slide.
Okay.
Is there something that you need help with the community? Do you need more publicity? What do you need?
Publicity
do you
would
need
be great, yeah.
discounts at Nordstrom's to help you dress the guys? I mean,
that would be great.
You know, what are your needs?
Yeah. Well, I do take some of my clients to Nordstrom's to shop, so that would be amazing. You know, I'm looking for some funding in order to help create that online course that I was talking about. It's going to follow my book, so I want to get the word out there more and more to
and
guys.
your book,
Yeah.
I didn't ask that. When's the book coming out?
It's going to be coming out, I believe, towards the end of November, early December.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's an online, but it's also tangible?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's all written. I'm just in an editing process right now and putting illustrations together. Yeah, I'm so excited.
I also I usually like to ask clients what events are important to them, either locally, nationally, internationally, and also if you're hosting your own events.
Well, I actually have my own little TV show at KCAT TV 15.
I saw that in your signature, but I didn't know what it was. So.
Oh yeah, I have so much fun with that. It's called Top Secret Tips for Single Men, and what I do, I need sponsors for that actually, because it's a sponsored show. I go
just like our show, we have to find sponsors to
What we do is we go into the sponsor's business, and I talk about tips for men. The last one I did was at a hair salon. And
in Los Gatos?
Yeah, it was a hoot.
And then, so is it a live? Are you doing it a live show, or is it live to tape?
It's live to tape, yeah.
So like this one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I just interviewed the owner about grooming tips for men. We had a hoot. We did a makeover on a guy who turned out amazing, and you know.
So is there barbershops in Los Gatos?
There are some barbershops. Yeah, there are some. Actually, my next one, I'm looking for a dentist to host my next show, because isn't fresh breath and clean white teeth important if a guy's going to kiss you?
Yeah, we talk about eclectic background. I was a dental assistant for 3.5 years after high school, so, but I was afraid of blood and needles, so what was I thinking? I made the worst dental assistant, right? We only have about 5 minutes left, so I want to know what motivates you, and then also the other question too that I definitely want to get to is you probably have men hitting on you all the time, and how do you handle that?
Where do you want to start?
So, well, what motivates you? I mean, what motivates you to do what you do, and you know, what gets you most excited when you're working? And
well, what motivates me, gosh, you know, when I was younger, when my dad was alive, my mom was alive, they argued a lot, and so I was always kind of in the background listening to that. I was just verbal, not understanding each other. And my dad, for years, you know, when I got older, would say, "I don't understand your mom. Help me," you know, whatever. And it never quite sank in, because he didn't really have a dad to raise him, and so he wasn't trained how to be a gentleman, you know. And he was a wonderful man, smart as like you wouldn't believe, but just and it saddened me, because I see this guys who are raised that don't have a proper father figure, that don't know how to be the man that a woman wants him to be. You know, don't be a yes man, be strong, be confident. And so when I see that here, it's like, you know, I got to do something about this, and I have it in me. I've taken the training. I know how to teach you body language. 25 years in front of the camera, you can make any ugly outfit look good, you know, and convey that feeling of, you know, yes, buy this. So that is what motivated me to do this. It's just my calling. I feel so good when I get a client who is getting it, you know.
And then the other question too, you probably have people hitting on you all the time. How do you handle that?
I just am very businesslike with them. I don't diminish myself ever. I never dim my light, because I don't advise anyone to ever do that, because we all have to shine as brightly as possible so that others can follow us and take our lead and follow us. But yeah, I get some guys hanging on me. I'm still learning how to discern whether the guy's interested in working with me because he's interested in me, but I'm getting better at that. But normally I just brush it off. I just say, oh, I have somebody, or no, thank you.
Well, it sounds like you'd be a great personal coach for women as well.
A lot of my girlfriends ask me.
The next show that we're filming, the next week's show that we're filming, is a wedding shop, and we're probably going to do a meetup with them. I think you should come out and be part of that, and maybe do a little speaking. So
I'd love that.
I think that we should do that. Maybe we should do it around the time that your book's out too.
That would be
good.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yes, I'd be honored.
So we got a couple minutes left. What's
Okay.
the one thing that you want to leave the audience with, to remember about you? The one takeaway in your business.
The one takeaway from my business is that...
And for yourself too, anything
Okay.
you want to leave?
Well, I've mentioned it before, but to anybody who feels that it's hopeless, that they'll never find their dream girl, have faith in yourself. Everyone deserves to love, and everyone deserves to be loved. And once you know that and really embody it, get whatever help you need in order to get there. Don't let that woman slip by, because you deserve to be with her.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on the show. I think that you're amazing, and what you're doing is great. It's a great service for people.
Thank you for saying
And
that.
you're
I
a wonderful
appreciate it.
photographer too. So
Oh,
on
gosh.
top of that, so
Thank you.
Anyway, so to the audience, make this a great tags week by conserving, reusing, and rethinking about how you can choose to live here in Silicon Valley and beyond. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and then we also have an Instagram account, which I need to do more photos for. And just make this a great week. Thank you for joining us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Heather.
Thanks.